This is the first of several sessions where I will acquaint you with the operation of the Windows Live Movie Maker. So let's get the Movie Maker. Here it is. And in this session we will cover a few simple steps, but nevertheless important. The first thing you need either some pictures or video. Let's start with a video. You can go up here, and that's on the home button. You can go up here and add a video or photo, or you go here and click on the big white space, and your video or photo file comes up, folders come up, and we'll take the wildlife video that is provided with most computers. Okay, the first thing you see is you have a title here. It's underneath here, and it's on the picture, and it'll appear on the picture, and maybe you don't want that. So you click on it, and then you highlight it, and you push the erase button, and it's gone. If you click here, it's gone from your video, and it's gone from here. Then when you start the video, the next thing you see, you have the black area on the top and on the bottom. Well, that tells you that the aspect ratio isn't right. This is probably a 4:3 aspect ratio, and HD videos are 16:9. So you go up here to the project button, and here is the aspect ratio. See, as I said, it was 4:3, and we'll set it to 16:9, and see, now it fills the whole screen. This is important insofar as if you were to publish this edited video later, you would always have this black screen and this black strip up and down, and this isn't very nice. So what we will do, this video has, I think, 6 wildlife scenes, and we will split those wildlife scenes into pieces. So we'll let it run until the next scene comes, and we stop it. Okay. Now we could split it here, but then we would have a little bit of these birds with the horses. We want to go back to where the limit between the birds and the horses is. Now you could go down here and click, 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 click. This is always a single frame, and that probably will get you mad. But you can use the J key on your keyboard and just press it, and you see it immediately goes several frames back and jumps back to the horses. Now we went too far. In order to go the other way, to the right, you take the L. So J is on the left, L is on the right. You take the L, and see, if I click the L, well, you can't see, but you probably can hear. Then I get, and you go back to J, I go back to L, and I'm exactly at the boundary. So here you have the boundary between the horses, and take the last frame of the horses to split, or the last frame of the previous scene if you want so. Now how do you split? Well, you go to the edit button, and there is a split, but it's actually a lot easier. You just push the M letter on your keyboard, and you got it split. These keyboard shortcuts are really handy. Now in order to start your video again, you can go down here to the start button, or you just hit the space bar, and that starts it too. And now we have the next wildlife scene, and we are already beyond the second wildlife scene, so we will have to do the same operation. By the way, I did stop the video also with the space bar. So the space bar is start and stop, or pause if you want. So with the J button again, tap, 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 or just hold it down. If you hold it down, it'll go by itself. Oops, here we are, L, J. Okay, here we are at the boundary, and we split that again with an M. Now hit the space bar, and we go, and we hit the space bar again, and now we are in the next scene in the same exercise. J, oops, a little bit too far, L, J. Okay, so this is the very last one, and we hit M and we split it again, and so forth. Now we don't have to do it for all the scenes. I think that gives you the idea how to do it. Now there is an interesting other feature that I want to show you, and for that you go into visual effects. Visual effects, you can make all kinds of funny visual effects, black and white, sepia if you want, but we don't want to do that. We want to change the brightness of the video. Now here is a lighten darken slider where you can make the video either lighter or darker. Let's take the first one here and let's go a little bit into it. Okay, now if I hit the brightness and I move the slider to the right, you see it gets lighter. Now you want to be careful. You see it's very sensitive. I hope in the next edition of Windows Live Movie Maker they give us a little better deal. This is very finagly. But anyhow, you can lighten it. See, of course not that lighten. You can darken it. So now, one thing though, I'm on this first split scene here. So when I do that, it will only apply to that scene. It will not apply to the other scenes, which is handy, by the way. If you have a video that you took with your video camera and you have a whole mixture of scenes, maybe in the mountains and in town and on the sea, I'm sure they're going to be different in lightness or darkness. So you can split them as we split right here, and then you can lighten or darken individual scenes rather than having to lighten or darken the whole movie. Now if the whole movie is too dark, let's say, of course you would lighten it before you even start splitting it, because then it would apply to the whole movie before it's unsplit. But in this case here, where we have split parts out, it will only apply to this piece here, this section. So let's go and see these birds are still relatively dark. So if you want to make those lighter, you can make those lighter, of course, and hit the spacebar. Oops, I'm on it. No, it doesn't want to start. Anyhow, so you get the idea. Lighten and darken here. The splitting you do with the M. The stopping you do with the space bar. The starting you do with the space bar. J is moving the frames to the left. L is moving the frames to the right. So that's all for that session. And now we want to save our project. We are not all done yet, so we don't save the movie. We save the project, and we do this here, save project, and we save it in, let's say, a temp, a temporary file here, temporary folder. So we save the project, and if you go to my temporary folder, a temp, the saved project is here. I didn't give it a name, it's just called my movie. So that's all.